that Vindaloo was actually a type of kink or sex toy or something.
I fell over and put my hand on the wall to like break my fall and landed on the bloody fire alarm.
You are the ultimate goal because you're the hardest one to turn. You're the hardest one to turn.
Welcome to That's So Gay, the podcast where we celebrate, talk about and unpack all things queer. I'm Frankie and I'm here with my co-hosts Poppy, Lucy and Katie. Every week we'll dive into the highs and lows of queer life in 2025, from identity and community to dating disasters, pop culture moments and the unhinged stories that make us laugh until we cry.
In this week's episode, it's part 2 of our conversation with Tink and Taryn, and we are not playing games.
So whether you're gay, queer, questioning or just curious, grab a drink, get comfy and let's get into it.
Sorry, you look like you're in a cave.
This photo is from in a cave, actually. Look at the boy. My phone's on charge.
It's when you went very deep and your dog's like, Mom, where are you?
You're just like, Mummy.
Look at how cute. My phone's on charge. It's on charge, but it's actually the battery's still draining.
Not now, George. I'm down here looking for Jon Snow.
Listen. So I got myself all confused yesterday in our group chat and thought that Vindaloo was actually a type of kink or sex toy or something. And apparently a Vindaloo is... What is it?
A curry.
It's a curry.
Thank
and
you.
You really don't want to be putting a Vindaloo inside you.
Yeah.
I asked you about this and you never got back to me, I don't think.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you say?
I think I did a voice note and I was like, Katie, please explain why the fuck you think a Vindaloo is a kink.
Quite frankly, for the same reason, I thought that syphilis was a flower, because I just get words confused.
Wait, what did you get Vindaloo confused with, though, Katie? What kink?
I don't think it's an actual thing. I think I...
Did you like my reply?
No, I know what that is.
Katie, did you like my reply?
When you hear someone saying, hey, hot stuff, that's what you thought. That's your brain went to
No, I don't know. I'd never heard of a Vindaloo before. It sounds like something kinky. Like,
Yeah.
oh, do you want to go to bed and, like, Vindaloo?
You've never heard the song?
I
No.
said that earlier. Should we all do a rendition just for Katie? 3,
Go on,
2,
I'm listening.
1. Vindaloo.
Vindaloo.
Oh.
Vindaloo. Oh, my goodness.
Me grinder off to Waterloo.
Oh.
And we have a variant.
Grinder a bucket of Vindaloo.
Wow.
But we have a
thanks,
different
Tara.
type of song, don't we, Frankie?
We do. Lucy and
We
I.
do.
Before we became podcast extraordinaires.
Oh, Frankie fell over.
Classic. Normal thing.
Too much excitement with the Vindaloo.
Honestly, you can't control it, Lucy. Before we started doing this, we used to send voice notes to each other like we were on some sort of mythical radio show that only existed in our heads. We invented a product called Vagaloo that we sang about to the tune of Vindaloo, but I can't actually remember how Vagaloo got invented, Lucy. What were we referring to? Was it some sort of glue stick, or have I just made that up?
I presume it was probably one of our many conversations where we were talking about something you insert somewhere to maybe lubricate that place, and it ended up being Vagaloo.
Product.
That's $1 million
idea.
idea.
Product placement there, Lucy.
Yeah, we did a bit
I'm
of
sure
product
there was a
placement.
product, though, that someone made that glued your flaps together.
Why would
That
anyone
sounds
want to
horrendous.
do that? I'm sorry, but...
Well, I'm sure there was a thing that I saw online somewhere, and it was like they were taking the piss out of it, and it was like it glued your flaps together. So if you were like wearing leggings or something like that, you didn't have an obvious camel toe.
That's just made my vagina physically...
Oh, do you know what, Tara? Now you say that, I remember a product came out once that was like a sanitary pad, but instead of sticking to your pants, it stuck to your vag.
You put it in between. Yeah,
I think that's what I'm thinking of, but it was some sort of weird thing that. Yeah, you're right. I wonder if that still exists. That's
I am not
Google,
making
bear
this
with.
up.
You know,
It was called like the anti-camel toe.
you know the TikTok that you did, Frankie, where you were like, what you should do to battle, like when you go to battle against men. I mean, this sounds like a really good product for that, doesn't it? It's just...
It really does. It's like, what's it called for men? Is it a cod piece? Is it called a cod piece?
No, my brother calls it, is when he's wearing like linen pants and stuff like that, he'll sit down, he says he gets a moose knuckle. No, there's been a whole thing about it. Like, I took a picture of him and his husband, and like, you just see this like major camel toe poking out. It's like, oh my god, delete it now. There's a moose knuckle poking out. So I just started trolling him with pictures and like zoomed in of his fucking camel toe sticking out.
Oh my God.
Wait, you trolled your brother with pictures of his zoomed in crotch. Are you okay?
Yeah. That's just our relationship, you know.
Don't delve into that any further. Also, you'll be pleased to know, my Googling has discovered there is a product, Taryn's right, it's called the Camel Toe Concealer.
Oh my God.
What on earth?
Maybe we can get him to sponsor the show.
What's it called when all the letters are the same? Is it like a simile or something like that? The camel
The
toe
CTC.
concealer.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, God, no, I can't come out tonight. Why? I've run out of CTC.
Oh my
But
God.
there is a song for Vagaloo. There is a song for Vagaloo. Shall I sing it?
Do it.
Go on.
Shall I do it? Vagaloo, 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 Vagaloo,
Vagaloo.
And then it goes, me and me nan and me nan and me, no, hang on, me and me mum and me mum's nan, we're off to, no, I've had too much wine. Me and me nan and me gran and me and me mum and me nan and me gran were off to Vagaloo. Me and me mum and me nan and me gran were off to Vagaloo. Vagaloo.
Vagaloo.
Vagaloo.
Vagaloo. Vagaloo.
Oh, there's the other bit, wasn't there? It was like, on the top shelf by the loo.
Vagaloo. Wait, sorry. Oh, there is an anecdote I wanted to share. I was just going to share the time at that wedding. So this is like, it does vaguely relate to queer things. It's totally random. This is actually years ago, but it was in my head today. So years ago, I was in a relationship with a girl who hadn't been out to her family very long. They were very religious. There were lots of different cultures going on in the family, large extended family, really good fun. Eventually, they all accepted me and it was fab. Well, I was accepted, but when there was a family wedding, I wasn't able to be known as like the girlfriend because there were lots of other extended family coming and it wouldn't have been appropriate with religion and cultures and customs and stuff. So I was like, okay, it's not my wedding. I don't care. I'll be respectful. Cool, you know. Anyway, so I was playing it cool the whole time. The family loved me as like the very special friend of my ex, etc., etc. And I was thinking, right, I've got through this. Maybe eventually they might know we're together. Who knows? Anyway, the next day after the wedding, it was time for breakfast. Now, everyone was already down at breakfast. I was really bloody hungover. My ex was already down there and I was like, yeah, babe, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So I'm staggering down to breakfast and you know when your head is so like foggy from drinking, you really can't seem to control your body properly. You're all like out of sorts. There was a wire like under the carpet that kind of like put this like little bump in the carpet. Well, I bloody tripped over it on the way down to breakfast. In slow motion, it felt like in my head, I fell over and put my hand on the wall to like break my fall and landed on the bloody fire alarm, didn't I? So bearing in mind, the breakfast is happening the day after this very traditional, lovely family wedding that I'm supposed to make a great impression at to eventually being accepted as the girlfriend. Anyway, I walked into the breakfast and the mum looked at me and she just went, Frankie, what have you done? And I was like, I'm so sorry, it's bloody blaring. There had to be an investigation where they wanted to see if I was like some sort of lunatic who wanted to set the alarm off on purpose. I was like, no, I'm just hungover and I've had a drink. Oh my God, I didn't mean it. Anyway, but the worst part was they couldn't get this alarm to turn off. Now, other weddings were supposed to be happening that day. Now, we were all packing up, ready to go. And as we're packing up, I could just hear this like beep, beep, like it was like glitching. And I was like, I really hope these poor like people getting married don't have that throughout their day because of me being hungover. Can you imagine? Anyway, long story short, nothing came of it. And we broke up, but I don't think it was because of the fire alarm. Maybe it was. I don't know. But don't invite me anywhere is the moral of this story. It was an accident.
Don't date girls who set off fire alarms randomly. We're not going into this again, I beg.
It's really been too much.
No, because I used to say another one. Where's everyone gone?
No idea.
Oh my God.
They laughed themselves into oblivion.
They did. They laughed. I'm just so funny. What can I say?
You are very funny.
Another one I used to say, which I think I've also got confused, and now I'm realising I've basically mixed up 3 sayings.
Yeah.
So you've got hoot your own horn.
No, toot your own horn.
No. Hoot your own trumpet, hold the horn, and the other one was I used to say hold on to your horses in play. But I got told that doesn't make sense either.
No.
So I don't know what that is either, but I've just got them all confused, I think.
There's 3 sayings in there,
the horn.
definitely.
Yeah.
To be fair though, Pops comes out with some absolute
Belters.
Yeah, she does. She's as bad as me.
It's with all the
What can I say?
dyslexies.
It's giving Jansen.
Did you enjoy my pickle and ranch thing video today?
Yes.
And I need some.
So, guys, I wanted to bring up something that happened recently. So, Australian singer Betty Who was on a podcast and she made some comments that were deemed as lesbophobic. What really sucks is that Betty Who is a queer person herself. So, you kind of don't expect to hear that. Now, I think the point she was trying to make was that, you know, sexuality can be fluid. So if somebody identifies one way now, that's not to say they will be the same in 10 years' time. Mm-hmm. However, she was referring to a celebrity, and she basically said, she was talking about how, you know, people kind of put themselves in a category and then people sort of vilify them if they're not that anymore. Mm-hmm. She then went on to say about Reneé Rapp, who said, "You'll never catch me dating a man." And Betty Who came out and said, "Go off, Queen, I love that for you. But I also hold space for her in 10 years if she goes, oh, I met the love of my life and it's a man, I didn't mean to." Now, what she was trying to say was, I think, is that sexuality can be fluid, but that comment and the way that she is a person who has a bit of clout and went on a podcast and could have done a really good thing for, like, you know, lesbians, kind of just made it sound like, well, you know, you might end up with a bloke anyway, so it's kind of like, you know, whatever. Just diminishes who we are, I feel like. Now, that's not saying that I'm biphobic. That's not saying I don't think that people can have fluid in their sexuality. Not fluid in their sexuality, fluidity in their sexuality. You'd hope there'd be some fluids, wouldn't
Fluid in the sex.
But you know what I mean? So
I will be using that at the beginning of the episode.
Fantastic. But yeah, so I understand the point she was trying to make, but I just think the wording was really poor because it came out like sort of diminishing what lesbianism means, and it effectively said she'll end up with a bloke anyway, or she might do, and that sucks in my opinion. I wonder what your guys' thoughts are on that.
I just think it's a really backhanded.
Jojo Siwa, Billie Eilish.
What's the
all
difference?
Started dating women, and they all ended up. That's when the thing, like the whole thing of media, is that when they started dating men, everyone was like, "What the fuck? No, let them be who they want to be. Let them date who they want to date."
Yeah,
Fletcher as well.
But a lot of the prerequisites, especially from straight men, is that you're gay until you're not, and until you've met me. You know, and these people in the mainstream who are exploring their sexuality, which I think is a great thing, is a great thing because we have never seen it really before massively, not on this scale, especially from big icons that the way that they are. And I think it's really important to have that. But I also think it's really important for the education side of things is that lesbians can be lesbians and they are lesbians, and something that has been a consistent factor in history, in my experience anyway, is that you are gay until you turn straight. And I've had even the head chef I used to work with, you know, in the kitchens and stuff like that. He literally stood there and he went, "I've fucked a few fucking lesbians in my time like that." He did that to me. And I was like, "Well, they're not fucking lesbians, are they, mate?" And he was like, "Well, they weren't till they met me." You know what I mean? And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he used to look at me in a certain way. And he, like, when I used to get like out of my chef whites and stuff like that, and you could tell he was like objectifying me and like, "I could fucking have you." And it's like, "No, mate, you can't. I'm a lesbian. Do you not understand what that means?" And it's really fucking important for people to realise that, yes, people are gender fluid and they might go for someone who is of one gender or another gender, but then you get gay people who are actually gay and understand that they are gay and always will be gay. You know,
and that's
whether
fine
that's
too.
men or women. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I often find that the problem is not only is that hard for people to get their heads around sometimes, but then you've got some sexualities and people who use such certain, you know, labels for themselves, who will then flippantly say that they're a lesbian when they're actually not, and it just diminishes everything we are. It's not saying that they're not valid. They are queer. They are valid, but like, I wouldn't dream of walking around and saying I'm a trans woman when I'm not, because why would I want to? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand why people think it's okay to interchangeably use a term that actually the word lesbian has been used as an insult for years. It's still frowned upon if we say it ourselves, even though we are. And we're often shat on by so many other different facets of society. I just wish that we were allowed to sort of sometimes have that word, like, you know, just used for us. Because I'm sure, like, bisexual men don't walk around saying they're gay. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
That's
think
valid,
having
but
someone
they're not,
in the media as well say something so backhanded just literally just feeds into this concept that cis men can change lesbians.
Yeah.
And that lesbians are not lesbians. We're bisexual, we're queer. I mean, even like, I'll give you like I'll make it quick, but 2 experiences that I've had since being out. One is I told someone I was gay and they was like, oh, I'm so shocked. Well, I would have expected queer or bi first. It's like there's this notion that you have to be bi or queer before you can say that you're a lesbian. What's that about? Why can't I just say that, you know, yes, it is fluid. Yes, in 10 years' time, I might happen to fall in love with a man. I very much bloody doubt it. But there's this, like, mad, insane, like, thought process that you have to come out as bi first. And I don't understand where that comes from. And then there was also a situation in a gay club, ironically, a couple of months ago, which was my first proper interaction like this, where there was a straight man trying to chat me up at the bar. And so it's my own fault because I entertained it.
Not your
For
fault.
like a few...
No, wait, stopping you right there. Not your fault. Society has made women feel like we have to accept these advances or be polite because that's what we do, when actually it's invasive. And why the hell is he in our space?
Yes.
Carry on.
Okay, fair enough. So I entertained it for like, I don't know, five minutes, and then was like, oh my God, he's like way too full on. Anyway, I said to him, I was like, dude, like, you're in a gay bar? And he was like, yeah, I know, but like, you know, you want a bit of me. And I was like, no. I was like, I'm gay. And he said, yeah, but you're only gay until you've been on my cock though, aren't you? And I was just like, right. So instantly I was like, oh,
Kill
God.
it.
I was like, I don't know what to do here. So I just was like, I panicked and I made a joke and I was like, well, you know, at least women know where the clit is. Men seem to struggle finding that. And I'm going to put a trigger warning here for the pod, just in case it needs it. He then proceeded to physically show me on myself where it was. And I just stood in like...
And I fucking punched him.
Oh my God, that's awful.
This was literally like May.
That is
literally like a couple of months ago.
And it feeds into the thing of men not taking no for an answer. You could be, hello, I'm a lesbian, I'm in a gay bar, and you're still here trying to say I can change you. No
I'm
means
still being
fucking no.
touched.
I'm not interested. I like girls means no. And if they continue trying to bloody change your mind, that's not consensual and it's not okay. It also fucks me off. I don't know if I can. I swear a lot. I really shouldn't on the pod, should I? It also irritates me when you're at a bar and, you know, the only way you go through all this thought process, don't you? Of like, right, oh God, he's chatting me up. What do I do? I can say, sorry, not interested. He's going to keep trying. I can say, not interested. I don't like men. He's going to keep trying. The only way he'll stop, sorry, mate, I've got a boyfriend. Then he'll walk away. And I wish that wasn't true, but it's happened so many times to me. It's like they only respect your no when they think you are taken like a piece of property by another man. Like, how is that okay?
It's an automatic respect for a man, but a woman has to earn the respect.
Absolutely.
And I think that's ridiculous.
Oh, they'll never
I
earn
had
it.
it today
Never
as
earn
well.
it.
Today? What happened today?
So today I was at work and there was someone that I knew through work that had turned up and he was like, oh, can I have your number? And I was like, I don't really give my numbers out. And I just couldn't be fucked with the whole kerfuffle of like, oh, because I get it so much through my work just because it's so male orientated that like there's a lot of people that will stop and be like, oh, can I have your number? No. Why? Because well, I'm gay. Oh, so that doesn't matter. I can change you, or I can, you know, I've been with a lesbian before and all this. So now I just don't bother having the conversation. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to give you my number. I'm just going to walk away because I can't have the energy. The amount of times I've had conversations like that at work, it's just, I can't be fucked for it. And especially as like femme presenting as well, they just like, I get hit on so like quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie, like at work through like doing that, and it's just like pisses me off. I can't be asked to have the conversation, and that's
Shouldn't have
annoying.
to
It's
explain
annoying
yourself.
to me that I can't be like, no, I'm gay, because you're gonna then be like, oh no, well I can change you and all this.
And
Fuck
then,
off.
like with today, I posted a TikTok on our podcast channel that says it was a joke, me doing a weird stretch, and it was lesbians preparing themselves to go into battle, brackets, having a conversation with a cis man or something like that. And of course, it triggered a cis man who then ended up telling me in the comments that actually he knows lesbians who were lesbians until they met him. And I was thinking, one, you're half the bloody problem. And two, Poppy's just explained exactly that battle we have to go through mentally. Yeah. Like, him arguing with us on the TikTok doesn't make it not true, because all of us have lived experience here, and I guarantee the people listening do too.
Yeah, literally just proved the whole point of the TikTok.
It was so good. It was like the best thing that could ever happen.
I know, and I just was like, thanks for the engagement and for proving us right.
Hang it in the
loo.
loo.
To read it out.
Hang it in the loo.
This guy decided to comment on a TikTok literally saying lesbians preparing themselves for battle, in brackets, speaking to a cis man. And it is a video of Frankie basically preparing for war, right? So, some dude commented, oh no, a heterosexual male, a true lesbian's worst nightmare when they've got a bisexual missus and you come through with the banter. First of all, type well, because that didn't even make sense. There was no commas, no punctuation. Go back to school.
Agree with that.
Number one. And then he proceeded to say, all I'm saying, I've foiled, foul terminology, I foiled a few bisexual ones and their missus ain't happy. A few drinks, right location, they soon revert back to solid. Tried and tested with great success.
Oh my God.
I'm going to be sick.
All the terminology.
I'm going to be sick.
It's so derogatory.
Awful. And that was on the first comment, wasn't it? Like, he carried on, and then he realised that he wasn't going to win, so he moseyed himself off to the gutter where he should fucking live.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, there's
just
more.
And that
Katie, there's
concludes
more.
today's vomit meter section.
Oh, what's the other one?
Wow.
Okay, scroll.
We didn't think
more.
we'd fill it in one go, but we have, and it's overspilling, and it's currently all over the floor. Oh my God, that's disgusting.
There's more comments. I just don't understand why grown women are putting TikToks about avoiding heterosexual males like we're the problem. And I do understand the difference between the two. One will never touch a man, and the other one, don't know what they like, but as a full lesbian, you're putting yourself in a dangerous position with a bisexual missus. As I said, tried and tested. He basically just said your bisexual girlfriend is going to run off with a bloke anyway.
It's just disgusting. It's even the way he's speaking about women is giving predatory, disgusting.
So I said to him something along the lines of blah, 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 leave us alone. And he said, leave us alone? Like you're some sort of victims, behave yourself. You're a grown woman and you're putting TikToks up about avoiding men. Unfortunately, you came from a man, straight from the solid. Ugh, the irony of being a lesbian.
Oh,
what
God.
on earth are you talking about, you actual cretin? Like, honestly, I feel so sorry for whatever poor woman has to tolerate this bloke.
The entitlement on that comment was unreal. I spaffed you out in the 6 seconds that it took, and therefore you should be grateful to me. Fuck off.
Honestly.
Come on, lad. We can have babies without men now, by the way. Let's look into that, shall we?
Don't tell them that. They'll start ramping up the aggression because when they realise they're not needed, Christ.
Oh, God, they're going to think we're witches. Oh, my Lord.
I just wanted to come back to this idea, like it is sort of a game, isn't it? It's like gamifying. We talked about this, Frankie, didn't we, in our sort of show chat? But it was like I've had it before, with trans, like coming out as trans, but like this sort of sense that like, oh, it's just a phase, or like should we see how long? Almost like this sense of like how long is it going to be before you decide that you've made a bad decision or something, or like. When I started hormones, it was the changes, and it takes so long for people to sort of embed in people, and I can guarantee that the people that I had in my life at that point are no longer in it. But this, sorry, I was just going to say, but then going out as a trans woman, but like, I don't know, I guess like I seem to pass quite well for cis-men to at least come at me, like come at me. Come at me.
Sorry, hope they don't, Lucy. That's giving not consensual.
But like, fucking hell, I had like the worst. I mean, now don't get me wrong, every single woman has this, but it's like as someone who is amen, so came from one side and moved over, like I had like a couple of years back. No, it was last year. This time last year, literally a year ago, I was in a club dancing, and this guy, I turned my head, and this guy was just looking at me and staring at me. And then about 5 minutes later, because no one was behind me, I just felt him like putting his hand on my back and like down to my bum and stuff, and I was just like, ugh, moved away. But often, if I talk, so I've had people come up to me, do exactly what's going on here, like Katie, your story and stuff, like that kind of stuff. But then I open my mouth and they run away.
So bizarre.
So it's because like, yeah, there's just so much going on there. But it's I'm trying to weave this into a narrative. But it's this idea again about the patriarchy. It's about the boys. It's about like just the roles that are put on people. But also if you're a trans woman, like disgusting, gross, because you're a man because you sound like a man or you walk like a man. Like it's that again. It comes back to that horrible toxicity. Like I know a lot of people that would just shudder at the idea of sleeping with a trans woman. Just shudder at the idea of it, and it's a point. There are many murders of trans women that are to do with the fact that a man finds out that woman. Yeah. Anyone who's listening to this podcast, please go and watch Pose and Paris is Burning. But Pose is like a bit more of I think it's a bit more like It's a Sin in the sense that it goes through the HIV crisis, like epidemic, but like also tells the story of all these black trans women in New York. Yep. I think it's New York, but like all of that kind of horrible stuff, like they have to go into, they do have to be adult workers, or they have to go into that kind of work, and a lot of them die because they get murdered. And the police do not give a flying F about them because they're no longer treated as any class of person in that. So it's a. But sorry, that was a real tangent. But it was just coming back to this narrative of why it's so dangerous for this kind of view, this view that they can change you, or that because you've moved away from that idea of what they want. It's all this aggression. It's kind of like this thing of like I'm putting you here, or you're not here at all, sort of thing. Yeah.
It's very much what I was coming back to. It's something that I discovered is someone else's idea, but very much realised how true it was. And it's not this idea of being a man or a woman. Men hate femininity, which is why I'm accepted as a lesbian into men's lives, and why trans men are more accepted into men's lives than trans women are, because it's almost like this disdain for the fact that you become feminine, and they cannot comprehend that, and it becomes so detrimental to their very existence that they have to have they have to create the biggest impact on that. If that makes sense. Like, being a woman is notified or normal to hate, but if you're a man, or if you're born like as a man, when you decide to, let's say, give up that privilege, which is what we were talking about before, and you go to the feminine side, it's almost even worse for them, which is why the trans community, and especially the black trans community, is trans women, which is the most detrimented, from my knowledge anyway, is so persecuted, because not only are you trans and you go into the feminine side, but also you're black as well. So it's also tying that in with racism, you know what I mean? And it's something that it's talked a lot about in feminist perspectives, but it's forgotten about in general everywhere, which is something that always needs to be reminded to everyone, because at the end of the day, like, trying to survive in life, like, from what I've seen as someone who's trans, and even just to try and get a job, like, it'd be taken seriously in a job, especially as a trans woman, is very, very difficult. because people will never take you seriously. And if you go like down the lines of the situation, and you're black and trans as well, it actually just makes it impossibly hard. And a lot of people do resort to being sex workers because that's the only thing that will make you money, because no one will actually employ you because of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely awful, the amount of conversations I've had with people. Like, I know a Spanish trans woman who I met at a Pride event just randomly, who was like a computer programmer and really like high up and had like all these degrees and stuff, but she ended up having to be a sex worker and has like an OnlyFans and things like that because she can't get a job, because she's an immigrant, because she's not white, and also because she's trans. You know what I mean? Like, she had no chance, but she was actually more qualified than all of the other people she was going to work with. You know what I mean?
This
It's
is why
just
we
a
need
fucking
like
horrible
more.
thing.
We need more awareness about intersectionality and the problems and challenges, the additional problems and challenges that those who fall into those intersectionality sort of areas have to go through. It's so nuanced, and obviously the more you go down that, the kind of the smaller the minority groups are, and the lack of representation. So it's definitely really important to talk about, I think.
Agree.
I have a comment about the previous topic of men being like, oh, I could have you if I want. What also cringes me out is when lesbians say about spaghetti girls being straight until wet.
What the fuck is a spaghetti girl?
What?
What's that?
Spaghetti girl straight until wet.
I've never heard that phrase before. But I
Yeah.
guess what you're
When
saying
lesbians say
is...
that, I'm like, nah, because you're just marking yourself a predator then.
Are you saying that lesbians can say, oh, she's straight, but she won't be till she's met me, sort of thing?
Yeah.
Doing basically exactly what we're saying that men do, which sucks.
Yeah, and that cringes me out, and I'm just like, nah, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Toxic masculinity doesn't matter
Again.
if it's Sven saying that or if
Again.
it's a mask saying that. The notion of that itself is toxic masculinity. Crazy.
Yeah, it's bad.
Crazy.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us while we overshared, laughed at ourselves, and hopefully gave you something queer and fun to pop into your ears. Please do hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss the episode next time. And if you really liked it, please do tell your queer mates. You can even tell your favourite straight ally if you want, and we won't judge. Please do send us your stories, dilemmas, hot takes. You can find us at the socials listed in the description below. Until then, stay gay, stay chaotic, and we'll see you next time.